Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. I'm so glad you're here. I'm doing another book haul. I know, I literally just did one, but we went to the thrift store, did this huge thrift excursion, which was so much fun. After like trying on things and looking at random like home decor, all that kind of stuff, we were like really hungry, really tired, and I just looked at him and I said, I have to. And he just like knew. I have such bad FOMO if I don't look to see what kind of books they have. So I had to go to the Christian book section because that's literally what I do. That's where I live. I love it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. And you know what? Blue tags were on sale. How many of these were blue tags? Literally none. But they're still good deals. I'm just sad that I didn't get like an extra discount on top of them. Oh well. Let's start. This first one is called Hearts of Fire. And who is this by? I don't think it's one author. So it's the Voice of the Martyrs, co-authors of the best-selling Jesus Freaks. And it says 8 women in the underground church and their stories of costly faith. So this sounds so intriguing. I loved reading like Corrie ten Boom's story and would every single time. Richard Wurmbrand. I always want to say Witchard. Oh, Corrie ten Boom and Richard Wurmbrand stories. And so this would be interesting to hear about the underground church and just like what they went through, you know? But I am looking forward to this one. Oh, should I tell you how much they were in case you're wondering? So this was $3. The next one I got was The Case for Christ. And I have and own The Case for Faith by Lee Strobel. This one was his first in his like The Case for series. I don't know how many. I think he has like 4. I really liked The Case for Faith. And this is what they actually made into a movie adaptation, and I watched that. I don't think it's still on Netflix because we watched it like a year and a half ago or something. The movie adaptation was really good and I really enjoyed it, so I think I'm gonna really like this. If you want a review on this one as well, because I did review The Case for Faith, I would be happy to do that once I read this. This one was $3 as well. All right, this next one is pretty large. Large and in Charge. I'm really excited about this one. This is the Journals of Jim Elliot. And so this was edited by his wife, Elizabeth Elliot, and I've read a couple of her books, but I know her from knowing about him and his story. Of all the missionary work that has been done within the past century, one story will remain in the hearts and minds of the American public. The murder of Jim Elliot and 4 fellow missionaries by Auca Indians in Ecuador received extensive press coverage from coast to coast. I don't know if you have ever heard of Jim Elliot or even the movie The End of the Spear, if you've ever watched that, but his story is, it pulls at your heartstrings. I highly suggest kind of looking him up and reading about his story because he was just so bold and faithful and traveled to this extreme remote village to try and witness to this village that wasn't surrounded by anyone. They would literally kill their own species for survival. They were extreme. So he had a heart to reach them with the gospel and would fly in, and I think he like provided food for them and things like that, and was trying to gain trust and communication with them, and ultimately they killed him, which it was extremely sad. I watched The End of the Spear when I was 13, and it was hard. It was really hard for me. I didn't feel like I was mature enough to watch that. Really sad. But just, he was so faithful, and just the life lived in pursuit of sharing the gospel with people that no one would want to share the gospel with, you know, for fear of being killed. But his legacy is amazing, and I'm so intrigued to hear his journals, like in his words. I think this will be very impactful. So this was $3, but it is a chunky book. The next one I got was Sermons on Sovereignty by Charles Spurgeon. So this one, y'all, Spurgeon is so good. I love Charles Spurgeon. So I'm very excited about reading this. It's interesting. Sermons in the form of a book, I think will be really interesting for me to read and kind of see how I grasp those things. But yeah, I'm really excited about this one. And I just love learning from Christians who finished the race well. I just love learning about them. Some of those men and women just have timeless teaching, where I feel like sometimes today we try and modernize it too much instead of just sticking to the truth. Like the Bible, how long ago was that written? Thousands of years ago, still relevant today because it's the truth laid out. It's not changing. And I think the ways that sometimes we try and change the way we teach the Bible can almost, in essence, take away the longevity of the message. Because if you're just trying to make it too culturally appropriate, it's not going to withstand. And so sometimes I feel like these men who are from different generations than myself have articulated the truth in such a way that is timeless. So I just really feel like I gain the most knowledge from men like Spurgeon or C.S. Lewis or Tozer, R.C. Sproul, Thomas Watson, people like that. I've learned so much from them. So anyways, I'm very excited. That was a long drawn out thing, but I'm very excited about this book. Then the next one I got, these two, they didn't have price tags on them, but they were both $2. They charged me both $2. Okay, so this next one is by Charles Swindoll, and this is Strengthening Your Grip, Essentials in an Aimless World. I strictly picked this up because my good friend Kate here on YouTube has talked about how she likes Charles Swindoll, and I've never read anything by him. I've never heard anything from him, but I trust her because she's a very trustworthy person, and we like so many similar books and similar teachers, and so I'm excited to finally read a book. Kate, if you have read this book, let me know, or let me know the books that you like from him. I'm looking forward to this just because it reminds me of my friend. Then this next one was a John MacArthur one, a very old John MacArthur one, as you can tell because it says John MacArthur Jr. He does not go by John MacArthur Jr. anymore. I don't know when did this even come out? 1986. That's what I'm talking about. This was $2, but it is The Legacy of Jesus, and I love John MacArthur. Oh my gosh, I love that man so much. He loves God's word. He gets up and he preaches it. He knows it, he preaches it, he teaches it, he helps people learn about it, and I just love it. I'm so excited to read another one of his books. And then the next one I got, I'm really not sure how this one's gonna go because I don't really know anything about it. This is called Deep Church, A Third Way Beyond Emerging and Traditional. So who knows what this is going to actually be talking about, but this is by Jim Belcher. And I saw that Tim Keller said, this is an important book. They put that little thing up there. So I do really like Tim Keller. So he also has a C.S. Lewis quote on the back. So it could be really good. We will see. This was $3. It's a very nice book. Like, I like the color. It's very nice. I think it's just kind of talking about like the differences between churches now. Like, you look at the hipster churches, you look at the super traditional churches. Is there a middle ground in between them? Like, are we able to kind of mix in some new, not like cool necessarily, but like new things into the church? I think too often we can either be too caught up with doing the traditions that we are more tradition focused in the church than actually building the church, and the people that are in them focus on them rather than the traditions. But then on the other side, sometimes we just neglect all traditions, and some traditions are great for helping the church become a church. So I think that this will be kind of talking about like, what would it look like to implement both of those things and see if they can merge into a nice, happy middle ground. Who knows, really? I can't say I'm an expert in any of that. So then the very last one is Sacred Influence by Gary Thomas. He is the author of Sacred Marriage, which I have not read yet. I haven't read it yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be really good. And this is how God uses wives to shape the souls of their husbands. So I'm actually really looking forward to this. Honestly, like, I want to be a great wife to Nick. I really do. And I want to love his heart. I want to love his soul. I want to encourage him as best as I can and be a wife that builds him up. I think that this will be really good, honestly. And this was $3 as well. So yeah. Since I always have to show my stack at the very end of these videos, this one's kind of large because I feel like all the books that I got this time were really big. But here we go. Here's my stack. So if there's any books in here that you have read or heard about, let me know, and let me know what you thought of them. And other than that, I'm sure I'll be doing some book reviews on some of these books in the future, so I hope you stick around for that. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe before you leave. If you liked books, book hauls, all that stuff, give it a thumbs up, and also check out my playlist. I do have a playlist of all my previous book hauls. So if you want to binge on book hauls, I got you covered. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.